literally ground yourself. Okay, so get into the sacral chakra. If your sacral chakra is working in full function and it's working properly, you're gonna be very comfortable within your sexuality. So, real quick, if you are unbalanced in your sacral chakra, you might be kind of sexually confused. You might be kind of easily swayed to do stuff as far as like your standards for what you're willing to do and not do in bed or in the bedroom. You might be kind of flexible. And I'm not saying flexible in a way like, oh, you're just open minded, because of course you're going to be open minded if in any form with any of these chakras, you'll be more open minded when it comes to any of these subjects. But I'm talking about when you're easily influenced because you don't know what you want or you don't know what you're not willing to do. It's kind of easy for people to talk you into stuff because of the fact that you didn't have a stable ground to begin with. So if you don't have that foundation set, it's easy to for the wind to blow something over if it doesn't have a foundation. You know what I mean? All right, so if your sacral chakra isn't working properly, you're gonna have sexual discomfort of some sort a lot of the time. So you're gonna probably already be sexually traumatized in some shape or form. So maybe you've been molested or raped, or you haven't had the proper kinds of love being shown to you physically. It doesn't even have to necessarily just be sexual, but just physical touch in general. If somebody raises their hand and you kind of flinch and you think that they might hit you, know that that might be because there's something wrong with your sacral chakra. Okay, so if you say like catch STDs, if you've caught an STD before, you probably got something going on with your sacral chakra. During that time of your life, at least, your sacral chakra wasn't working properly. But mind you, every disease can be cured, every single one of them. And if you want a specific consultation about that, you need to hit me in my email or leave a comment down below, and we can talk about that because I know how to cure every disease, and that's not a flex. That's dead serious scientific proof and all that to show it. And I got witnesses and people I've cured. So if you want to talk that talk, we can talk that talk. If you need help, I'm here. This is why I'm here. All right. So if you're what I might call like loose, sexually loose, if you kind of like, well, where I come from, they might say like you hoeing or you a thought or you easy or something like that. If your standards aren't very high for your sexual partners or your intentions are low vibrational when it comes to sex, know that something's wrong with your sacral chakra and it's not spinning properly. All right. And of course, one more thing, it might not even necessarily be sexual stuff that you're doing with other people, but if you're stuck on masturbating, if you masturbate too much, if you do it frequently, and especially if you're doing it frequently and you're not even doing it mindfully, you don't have specific intentions outside of like just falling asleep or doing it because you just can't stop yourself from doing it. If you got addictions like that or habits like that, know that that's because your sacral chakra needs some attention. Okay, so how do we solve this? We're gonna have to acknowledge how we got traumatized. If we've been traumatized, which you have been in some shape or form, if it's not functioning properly, that's the only way that these chakras won't work, because when you're born, these chakras are all spinning at 100%. Everything's working fine. And then as you get older and you have more experiences, you start shutting down and stuff because of what you experienced. That's how it goes, bro. All right, so if you want to make sure your sacral chakra is starting back to work properly, you're going to have to acknowledge these traumas and you're going to have to revisit them. You're going to have to heal yourself. You're going to have to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made. If, for example, like you can't forgive yourself for sleeping with somebody or something like that, you're going to have to accept that you did it, forgive yourself, and promise yourself you'll never make that mistake again. If you really don't make that mistake again, then that means you learned your lesson and you'll move on and you can heal yourself. But if you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, obviously that ain't self-love, and you ain't gonna be able to get your stuff functioning properly until you get your shit together. Okay, so another way for you to heal your sacral chakra, if you have like an addiction to say like masturbating, you can really just like, okay, you don't even have to necessarily 100% stop doing it like cold turkey, but when you're doing it, obviously you want to scale back. If you know you're overdoing something, you need to first be aware if you're overdoing something, but if you're gonna do it, you need to be doing it from a level of higher intelligence. So you need to have intentions on what you're gonna do with that sexual energy. So you have to have a reason. You're supposed to have a good reason to want to stimulate that sexual energy and stuff. So you need to be more creative with it. So if you're doing this stuff, you're supposed to be creating. Whether you're doing it by yourself or with a partner, you're supposed to be creating. Now I got entire videos talking about like sex magic and sexual alchemy and all that stuff. So check those out if you haven't. Just look, bro. I might put in the cards, I might not. Just check out the channel, man. Just scroll through. I got videos about everything, metaphysics wise and science wise and all that, bro. We talking about some everything. All right, so keep that in mind. You got to make sure that you're acknowledging your traumas and taking good care of yourself. All right, cool. So moving up.